Welcome to God Eternal Bontu. As far as opening hand goes, yeah, I like this. We'll keep on this one. We got Grim Tutor, we got Vampiric Tutor, Sudden Spoiling, Toxic Deluge. The only thing that we are missing is some low to the ground creatures, but surely we can find it with a couple different tutors we've got in our hand. So let's go ahead and lead off with, I guess at this point, we're just going to lead off with Vajuka Bog, have that enter the battlefield tapped, exile our opponent's non-existent graveyard, and then we're going to cover the commander. So we're playing God Eternal Bontu minutes. Whenever God Eternal Bontu enters the battlefield, sacrifice any number of permanents, then draw that many cards. When God Eternal Bontu dies or is put into exile from the battlefield, put it third from the top. So it's hard to get rid of them. If we go Swamp. Do we want to put down Swamp? Yeah, we can just put down Swamp, and then we'll see what we want to grab with Vampiric Tutor. In fact, we'll try to do it during our opponent's turn. So we're playing against Nin, the Pain Artist, which reminds me, I need to update her with some of the new stuff. Pretty cool, pretty fun commander. Nin has activated ability. Nin deals X damage to target creature. That creature's controller draws X cards. So one of the cool things about playing Nin is you can hit your own creatures, or at the same time, you can also go for... hitting Nin to draw a bunch of cards. I have a Storm-based deck, so if you want to check that out, go to YouTube and type in Nin Dr. Feelgood or Nin the Pain Artist Jolt, and you'll be able to find it. So let's go Vampiric Tutor. Yeah, I think I like that. So we'll go Vampiric Tutor, and at this point right now, we want to get down some sort of option that's going to allow us to keep up with our opponent's mana accelerant. They've got a Chrome Mox over there, so we could go Ancient Tomb. That puts us on Grim Tutor for next turn, and I really do think... because that's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, let's just go and go for... Yeah, let's go Indrixar. I like this. So we grab Indrixar. We're going to put him on top. Hopefully we run into that 5th land. What we can do is we can get down, get the Master Breeder down, and then whenever we cast Bontu, that's going to give us a wonderful board state. You know, it is kind of like a 2-card, not necessarily a 2-card combo, but a 2-card synergy. So that's always nice. So we'll put that on top. And I think if we want to kind of keep up with this extra mana our opponent's going for, we might end up going for Grim Tutor ourselves too. Not Grim Tutor, but actually going for Soul Ring. So let's get this popped out. And we do have the land to make down for next turn. So we're going to grab Soul Ring. And then anything else, we're going to go pass the turn to our opponent. So they got a Soul Ring coming down. We'll be able to get down Soul Ring. Also go for Edrixar, Master Breeder. And they'll be in a pretty good spot to hopefully get some good stuff going. Now, we did cover both commanders. Let's give a quick shout out to our sponsors, MTGOTraders. If you want to build your very own God Eternal Bontu army, zombie army, whatever sort of creatures those are, be sure to check out MTGOTraders. They've got all the cards that you may need for that. And also, shout out to inkgaming.com. You can use coupon code JOLT to get 10% off your order. And if you're in the market for some play mats or some dice or t-shirts, whatever floats your boat, or if you go to the website, type in JOLT539, you'll be able to search some of my cool playmat designs and see what is available. So, pretty cool. I'm going to be doing more playmat designs as time goes on, so this is something that's kind of new to me, and I don't know, it's kind of fun. All right, so let's go Soul Ring. You know, if we're walking into a counterspell, so be it. And I think at this point, we still end up going Master Breeder. Yeah, I like that, because what that's going to do is, if they've got a counterspell, they're going to want to burn it right now. Worst case scenario, we can always go Grey Merchant, and then cast God Eternal Bontu, or if they do have a counterspell, they may want to save it for God Eternal Bontu when we actually go for the actual cast itself. So if we can get this to stick, oh, there we go. We're going to get some really creepy tokens. And last but not least, I started a Patreon. So if you'd like to contribute to that Patreon and get your name at the beginning or the ending of the videos, of each video I do, that is there. And if you can't do the Patreon for whatever reason, hey, no worries at all. Just tell somebody about the channel. I would greatly appreciate that. Now it is officially free time. We can have some fun. Now, as far as what are we doing with God Eternal Bontu, this is a 100% just a, not necessarily aristocrat deck. Well, yeah, it is. Yeah, I would say it's aristocrats. You know, one of the ways that we can win is you just want to get down as, oh no, let's see if they go for the -1 with Jace. All right, so they do end up going for the -1 with Jace. That's going to make it a little bit hard for us to get a few extra creatures. Now, we can go Swamp. We go Homeward Path Soul Ring. This can be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And if we hit the land that allows... Yeah, I think I kind of like trying to dig for... yeah, let's try that. So let's go Night's Whisper. Hopefully we hit a land off this Night's Whisper. Alright, unfortunately we don't, but we do run into Sad Robot, which will be another land on the battlefield. And if they want to send it back with Jace, that's going to put us in a position to where we can, you know, getting some good damage on JC, sitting at a 0, at basically 2, and if they bounce it back, we'll be able to get another enter the battlefield trigger off of Sad Robot, unless they've got a counter spell. You know, they may not want to use it on Sad Robot, but I can definitely see them using it to stop that. All right, so they're going to go for Stoic Rebuttal. That's going to get rid of Sad Robot. That's going to put them only down to 2 cards left in their hand. So what we're probably going to try to end up doing, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, that'll be 4. If we hit the land drop, I think that'll be just enough for us to go to Indrixar next turn and then cast that into open God Eternal Bontu. So we'll see if we can get that going. But yeah, outside of that, it's just getting down as many creatures as possible and, you know, keep casting Bontu, doing what Mono Black wants to do, and that's just getting a ton of mana and then sacrificing your creatures for the greater good of the board state. So, and also, if you heard some a little bit of rumbling around, that is not my stomach. That is Sturgill. He's being my production assistant today, and so if you hear just a random bark or something, hey, then you know what's going on. So we did not run into another board wipe. Do we just want to straight up just Toxic to kind of stop that Nin the Pain Artist? That's gonna keep us off Indrixar. But if we want to kind of hit the reset button, because they can untap with a really nice Pain Artist, so I think we really need to deal with Nin the Pain Artist at this point. This is going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Still going to be 6 mana. Yeah, I think we need to do that. So let's go Toxic Deluge. Actually, we'll go Gilded Lotus. So it's going to be 1, 2, 3, because that'll put us on just enough for Toxic Deluge. And then get down Gilded Lotus. We'll tap out for Toxic. Get rid of both of their creatures, because if they haven't tapped with an open Nin the Pain Artist at this point, that's going to be really bad for us. So we're going to go 1, 2, and that's going to get rid of Nin and get rid of Trinket Mage. Now, if they've got, oh, there we go. All right, so we're sitting in back to the command zone, then we're going to go and pass the turn. But yeah, like I mentioned earlier, you know, there's a lot of times where you can pop one of your own creatures with Nin. You know, once you go for Trinket Mage has already found Soul Ring. You don't need Trinket Mage to stick around anymore. So you can actually just activate Nin on one of your creatures and be in a really good spot. So that would have been, if they wanted to tap out for it, that would have been 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. And so that'd have been a lot of card draw. Now, we could have gone for Go for the Throat in response to that, so that's something we do want to keep in mind. But if they had a counter spell and they were able to stop that, that would be some card advantage that we just don't really want to deal with. But thankfully, we got down Gilded Lotus, and that's going to allow us to get a little bit ahead on mana. So let's go Swamp. Let's go Indrixar, Master Breeder. That's going to be 1, 2, 3. And actually, we can just straight up just cast Indrixar into God Eternal Bontu, which if they didn't have a counter spell to stop Toxic, I would assume that they would have used it. So in fact, let's go and go for that right now. We're going to go God Eternal, and you're going to see how good this interaction is. So that's going to be 5 creatures, creepy tokens. Look how, oh no, do they have a counter spell? We still get the tokens though, which is nice. That's fine. But you're going to see how creepy these tokens are. They are... Okay, opponent's going to go for Fire. 2 damage to Indrixar. Yeah, and I think that's... We still get the tokens, and that's pretty much what we want to see. So we're going to have God Eternal enter the battlefield, and then we're going to sacrifice Bontu. Actually, we're going to sacrifice all Throld. Oh, look at this. 3, 4, 5. And those are all green. 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, so we're going to click OK. We're going to be able to draw 5 cards. Oh, that is beautiful. And then anything else, we're going to go and pass the turn. Now, we do have Living Death in here. So if we want to dump something like Grave Merchant, I think I kind of want to do that. I like that. Yeah, let's just go and straight up just dump Grey Merchant into the graveyard. And then we're going to start working towards maybe a Living Death. We do have Dark Petition. And if we have 2 or more instant or sorcery cards in our graveyard, that's going to turn that on, which we do with Vampiric Tutor and Grim Tutor. So that's good to go. And one of the other ways that you can really just take Bontu in a really good direction is just getting down stuff like Grim Harspix. Always bad at that one. Whenever a non-token creature you control dies. Oh, I'm sorry, Dorothy. Yeah, so for those of you at home, if you're keeping score, I have 2 production assistants for my channel. One's Dorothy, my cat, and one is Sturgill, which is our new dog. And so Dorothy just ran over here real quick, and you might have heard her meow. So I don't know what's going on, but... and, you know, Dorothy used to... What did our opponent just tap out for? Let's get the chat pulled up. Sorry, I was looking down at the cat, and I could have swore our opponent did something, tapped out for some mana. Oh, excuse me, they went for a Nin the Pain Artist activation. That's what sent it back to the command zone. Okay, so that makes sense. So they've got a full hand now, and so we've got, we're both doing some pretty good card draw over here. Let's go Swamp. That's going to be able to slowly start working towards this stronghold too. And I think at this point, let's try to jam a Dark Petition. Yeah, let's see if this is good. Let's go Dark Petition. Because this is one of those spells that if they've got a counter spell, they definitely want to stop it. And then we can just kind of slow roll some better value out. We can go for Zir of the Scorpion, Grim, get down Warren Power Stone, Swamp. And that'll really allow us to really kind of start building up some really nice board state. All right, so opponent's going to go Memory Lapse. It's going to go on top of our library. Let's go Warren Power Stone. It's going to enter the battlefield tapped, and I think we just go Grim. No, excuse me. If we go Vizier of the Scorpion, that'll put us in a spot to where we can go for God Eternal Bontu, and that'll at least allow us to cash in 2 extra card draw next turn. We do have the other tutor on top of our library, and at this point, we're just trying to get them to burn all of these counter spells out of their hands. So, all right, so opponents can go Remand, send that back. They're going to cash in a card draw. A very nice play for Remand, and then anything else, we're going to go pass the turn to our opponent. But yeah, if you've been a fan of the channel for a while, or a friend of the channel, you may have, Dorothy's my production assistant at Marquette. And as far as the transition process between Dorothy and Sturgill, you know, it's good. It's going good. You know, Dorothy's she's probably about 7 or 8 now. And she's had free run of the house, you know, her entire cat life here. And so one of the things that Sturgill, you know, he's a puppy. He's only about 10 or 13 weeks old. And what he really enjoys doing is he just wants to run up to Dorothy and just say like, hey, you're an animal friend just like me. Let's have some fun. And so Dorothy is very much not on that same game plan of, no, I don't want to have a friend. Yeah, you're a dog. Why are you running up to my face? And opponents, oh, yucky. Oh, we got hit with the Vandal Blast. Okay. All right, so we still, oh, that was brutal. But anyway, she does not enjoy his company. But we're making some progress. So we're trying our best. But to bounce back from that, that was a very brutal hit. We are kind of getting to the point where Stronghold is getting a little bit better. So we're going to try to jam a Stronghold. Let's go 1, 2, 3. It's going to be 4 mana. Let's go Dark Petition. And this is one of the fun things about Nin. You know, I have my Nin the Paint Artist deck that's built that's just kind of fun to play sometimes. And then kind of Storm Base. And, you know, this is a very heavy control build of Nin. And you can see how good it is. You know, just being able to activate Nin to draw cards is a really good option. So what are we going to grab at this point? I still think we want to try to get ahead on mana. We could go for Living Death, but I think at this point, because even if we do end up grabbing Living Death, that we just don't have anything set up. We've got Gray Merchant, and this is just not that good of a board state developed right now. Now, if we end up getting Mana Crypt, that'll at least give us 4. We can start working towards Vizier. We can go for Grim next turn. Maybe go for God Eternal Bontu. Yeah, let's try that. If we're going to get out of this, we need to get some extra mana going. We've got tons of removal on our hands. So we're going to grab Mana Crypt. Let's go Mana Crypt. If they've got a counter for this, they've got it. And then once we get Mana Crypt down, that's still going to give us access to 5 mana. So let's go, there we go, let's go Vizier of the Scorpion. We're going to have that amass for 1, so hopefully this does resolve. We can get it down, get that amass 1. And then let's go Grim. And then that way that's going to allow us to, yeah, we're just going to straight up just get it down at this point. Right? Yeah, at this point, we're just trying to build into some sort of board state. Because once we get down Grim, once we get down the Zombie Army Vizier, we go for God Eternal Bontu next turn. That's going to be a lot of card draw. And even if we do run into something like Living Death, you know, once we get that Living Death online, ooh, disallow, okay. Either way, we're still looking at 2 card draw next turn, so we'll still take that. And if we draw into another creature, and then we can get something, start drawing some more cards over there. But yeah, you know, as far as the transition process between Dorothy and Sturgill, they get along pretty well. You know, Dorothy is very much, she likes to sit, oh, bummer, man. This is this is a good showing by our opponent. You can definitely load it up on the artifact destruction and be pretty good. But yeah, they get along pretty well. You know, there's a lot of times where I try to feed them treats at the same time. Like I'll get Sturgill to sit, and you know, he'll sit, and I'll give him a treat, and then I'll have Dorothy come over, and she's very hesitant sometimes. Oh, we got hit with a Wasteland. All right, so our opponent is leaving it all on the table on this one. Snapcaster, and they're going to go for Eyes, tap target. Oh, that is, whew. This is brutal. This is one of those games where if you're a fan of a good control matchup, A lot of 2-for-1s, a lot of value. You're sitting there just very, very happy. In fact, I think we've almost seen enough. Let's see what we draw into. But man, this is the overwhelming value our opponent's assembling right now is very hard to keep up with. But yeah, long story short, I feed them treats at the same time, and then it kind of works out sometimes. It's kind of cool, so I enjoy that. But yeah, if you came for a ton of Bontu action, you know, we got off to a decent start, but you know, that's just kind of what it is. All right, so sudden spoiling. We've got Go for the Throat, Skull Clamp, which does nothing on this board state. And then let me see. If we go God Eternal Bontu, we're basically just going to get it down and have nothing to sacrifice. We could go for Skull Clamp. If you end up going Sudden Spoiling, that's not going to do much. Go for the Throat. Basically, the only thing that I'm really seeing that we need to do is just basically go for the Throat on Nin the Pain Artist. Yeah, I think that's you know, with them only having 3 mana too, I think we're gonna have to go for that. So let's go for the Throat on Nin, because if they just end up with, you know, any sort of oh, I meant to tap down Stronghold first, but it's not really gonna matter on this one. We're gonna send Nin back to the graveyard, back to the command zone. Let's go Skull Clamp. And then we're going to go and pass the turn. So one of the ways that you can win with Bontu is, you know, we get to the point right now to where, you know, we are down on mana and we are down on mana rocks. But one of the things that we can do is if we've had all of our creatures be sacrificed this entire time, then we go for a really nice living death. You know, once we get that living death going, we can bring back a bunch of stuff out of the graveyard, maybe try to go for an aristocrats win. Unfortunately, we just didn't really see a lot of our aristocrats. We do have Blood Artist in here, Zulaport Cutthroat, Falcon Wrath Noble, Pitiless Plunderer, even though it's not a Blood Artist style effect, it is a treasure effect. But you know, once those are in the graveyard, that does allow us to, you know, kind of get us in a position to where you can see where if we bring back, you know, 10 creatures out of the graveyard, one of those creatures is Grey Merchant, and then once we grab Grey Merchant, that's a lot of devotion in combination with some sort of sack out that we can really, you know, attack our opponent's life total. So, but we'll see what we draw into. But there's just sometimes in Magic where even if you're playing to your outs, you kind of know when you're beat. So unless we run into some sort of skull clampable creature, we might end up just tossing in the towel on this one. Just saying, Uncle. That was when you get hit with Vandal Blast and then a Braid, and it's just it's pretty brutal sometimes. Let's see what we hit for the card draw. Drawn to another Swamp, and yeah, that's not going to get it done. So we have seen enough. Good game to our opponent. We could try to grind this one out, but when you've got Jace on the battlefield and you've got just all the mana in the world in an open Nin the Pain Artist, we even have Sudden Spoiling, but that's not going to do anything next turn. So good game to our opponent. They're going to take it on this one, so unfortunately we weren't able to get a lot of good Bontu action going, but you can definitely see how good Bontu is with Master Breeder. You can be able to get down Master Breeder, get down a ton of ramp, cast God Eternal Bontu into Edric Sar. You end up with just a ton of tokens and a lot of card draw. So anyways, if you enjoyed the video, like and subscribe. Thanks. Bye.